giving these courses, because with the hope that students will take them up and then explore opportunities further across borders, further beyond, and teaching and engineering and whatever professions there are, as long as there are avenues to do this in a legitimate way and safe way.
Thank you very much. And the market is the one that dictates whether it is the local market, regional market, or the global market. Therefore, unless you've got a very innovative idea in a particular space, then it would make no sense to study something that that is not in the market. But then again, you could be an innovative person. You could be the first person to come up with a solution, as we had the Bill Gates of this world, or the Fords of this world, and was it William Bell? So it really depends, because at the end of the day, it depends on every person's passion, purpose, and interest.
Yeah.
However, we also have a new phenomenon in this world, something called online jobs.
Yes.
I was very, very, very impressed last year, and I think that is one of the benefits of COVID, because COVID basically caused a leapfrog in the virtual, what you call the virtual village. So I was very impressed when we wanted alternatives, that is the company I work for, wanted to hold a 3D virtual expo. And we were able to to pull it off very successfully with young people in India, young people in the UK, young people in Malawi, without any challenge at all.
Yeah.
And all these were jobs. So today you do not have to even travel to a country to get a job. You just need to be very clear on what opportunities you're looking for, and subscribe to networks and spaces that are in that area or line of interest. And you would be surprised that they will actually seek you out. There are very many young people I know that today are working from home, but earning very, very good salaries through online jobs. So yes, that is an alternative.
Absolutely. Let's get your opinion, Jane, on this. When you are dealing or recruiting or even advising young people on career choices, on the directions they should take, have you noticed a shift in, or are they taking up these opportunities? Even the coronavirus has actually brought to the fore the need to go digital and the opportunities that can be had. So are you impressed with how young people are adapting to the opportunities that are being brought on by the digital world?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The knowing, we still have students going to do, not making a choice. Okay, maybe they still make a choice, but going to do what they admitted for in the university. So because the university called you for, and I'll use my own example, because the university called you for a BSc biochemistry, and if we still ask you in that year, what exactly are you looking at after campus, you'll be surprised that we still have that years who cannot answer that conclusively. Because they don't even understand the course, that they just went to do this particular course because they were called. Because career choices can start way before. But the good thing is, even after you finish, you can still change to something different. But it will be very, very important, and I know it's difficult because sometimes people don't have the paying capacity, and therefore you have to pay through job and all that. And therefore you end up going to do a course that you have been called for. So for me, my call would be in the government and the universities, now that the professor is here. Please, let us devise the courses. If there's a course that is giving us the highest levels of unemployment because the course has become obsolete, can we just remove it from the list of the things that we offer to people in Kenya? Because then indirectly or directly, we actually contributing to the unemployment by giving courses that are actually obsolete. So I would call for campuses to actually review. And then also sometimes I have seen campuses giving very specialist courses. Something is preached to a very low level, such that that particular person is not a specialist, is not is a general person. It is just something very specific, very detailed in a bigger field. So I think it starts with the government talking about the current market and developing courses in current market and eliminating what will not fit in this market.
Jane,
so that even
can you hear me? I would like you to give... Jane?
So that even as they... Yes.
Yes, I'd like you to give examples of some of these courses that you feel make the person very wishy-washy in terms of their specialization, that you have seen that are not really helping their situation.
They might just be difficult, and I'll give an example of the course that I did. I did biochemistry. I later changed to HR. And when you do biochemistry in this country, which is a very hard course, you have no social life in campus. So those people are actually very brainy, I would say so. And when you finish, the much you can do is sales. The much you can do is do sales for the pharmaceutical industry. You didn't train to be a salesperson. And most when they're doing this course, they don't foresee themselves being salespeople. Only after you realize that higher. Now, this is medical repping, you know? And sometimes the job is actually very hard for some people. By the time you're turning 40, if you have not changed or you have not gone out to a marketing manager and all that, if you have not invested now to be a marketing person, it becomes something else. So twofold, if the government could not try either create the industries or tell people in terms of when as you choose first year, are you seeing the output there? What are you going to do after 4th year? If people are able to see that, or if you know there are some courses that actually, another example would be anthropology. I don't know how many students are studying anthropology today. It is important for us to have that history and all that, but how many industries, how many jobs are you still looking for a bachelor's in anthropology?
Okay, very good question right there. Now, Professor Odhiambo, Jane has pointed out something very important. Universities should just stop offering some of these courses that are not quite needed. But at the same time, there's the element of the commercial element of it all that we seem to be glossing over. I'd like you to address that and how that influences the problem that we are facing in the job market.
Thank you, Trix, and I agree with my colleague. I think there are courses, like she said, she was admitted to do biochemistry, and the way she talks about it, she was very passionate. She loved the course so much.
Yeah.
But
hoping to be a scientist,
yes,
finding yourself in sales.
Being a medical rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are other people perhaps who are just admitted in the university because that's what they were given and they don't like it. And they end up and then they go outside there and there are no jobs. I think going forward, Trix, is really, first of all, like at Mary University of Science and Technology, when we realize a program has not attracted people for the last 3 intakes, COOPS intakes, we are basically writing them off. I think we have had about 2, and this time we have not declared them. But there are also some courses that, even though they may not be useful, but they're still useful. And I suggest, like what Jane has just given, biochemistry, for example, as scientists, they end up going outside there and being medical reps. I think in future we need also to get a situation where you have a major or concentration in a particular subject, but you also have a minor that prepares you for the world of work. If Jane, for example, did biochemistry and then also did a bit of sales, marketing, and what have you, it would already be there. So something that makes you versatile and all the rest is very important.
Right, and because we're running out of time, I'd like you to tell us what the universities are doing, because by the year 2026, those CBC kids, the students, shall have gotten to that level of tertiary education. What are universities doing to prepare for them?
Thank you very much. First, number one, today, as we talk today, the grade 4 have started national assessment tests. In exactly 2 academic years, perhaps end of next year, they'll be getting to standard 6, where they'll be doing the national exam, the KCP then. And then after that, they'll be going to junior secondary, and then after that, senior secondary. So the first thing we need to do as they move to universities and what have to secondary schools, the people training teachers, the servicing teachers, the teachers going to teach these people in secondary school. Number one, we are doing teacher education in university. Like Mary University, we have education. We have to prepare these teachers so that the ones being trained, so that when these students come in 3 years' time, already they have some teachers who are already trained in this. Number two, we need to retool our teachers who are already in the school. When these students will be going to junior secondary, senior secondary, the teachers are already there that were trained in the old norms, let me put it that way. Now, they have to be retooled. So the curriculum of training, the TTC, the curriculum in training the university teacher education, that has to be looked at. But very importantly also, the teachers at the university, for example, what they need to do in other programs. The universities Senate need to relook at the curriculum for all the courses. They need to relook at the infrastructure. Remember, the CBC emphasizes 3 things: attitude, skills, and knowledge. That it is not just the lecture methods you are going to use. It's not just testing the knowledge that people do. The kind of assessment, the kind of pedagogy that you are going to use to teach these people so that you produce the right kind of people, be they engineers, be they medics, be they nurses, be they agricultural people, be they educators, be they, architects, be they computer scientists, be they mathematicians like me. Those things have to change. And so the Senate, I urge all senators in the university setup to start relooking at training, to start looking at the content, the syllabus that they use to train these people.
Yes.
And not just wait up to 2026. For teacher education, we have to start now. The students are already there. For the other courses, we have to start looking at the courses now so that when they come, we'll not be caught unaware the way when the CBC started. Remember, for the first 2 years, the grade 1 and grade 2 were basically going through 844. It's just 2 years ago that we were forced to get into this. So we also need to prepare, and this is the time to start now. If we wait, it will not be okay.
Okay, Ms. Gaido, your closing remarks?
Thank you very much. I am concerned about courses being obsolete, because despite many students right now not taking agriculture, can we say agriculture is obsolete?
No, it's a new course.
Yes.
You may need a doctor once in your life, you may need a lawyer once in your life, but you need a farmer 3 times a day, at least, So I think one of the challenges that we need to look at is, again, it goes back, it all rises and falls with the government. A nation ought to be self-sufficient. You do need biochemists. They don't need to be going to sales. You need to look at what is the ratio of every Kenyan, of doctors per every Kenyan, So it's not that biochemists are not required. It's not that agricultural economists and engineers, etc., are not required. The question is, are we encouraging as a government, incentivizing, whether it is local investment or foreign direct investment? I think one of the main companies we have in Kenya that takes biochemists and a lot of statisticians is GSK. Why can we not have more GSKs? Why do we have to import more medicines than we are actually locally producing? So it is not a matter of obsolete. It's a question of expanding our own market and focusing on self-sufficiency.
Okay.
I was listening into your conversation earlier on maize, and my question is it that Kenya can't meet its maize demand, or is it that Kenya won't meet?
It's not, we're just not doing it. Thank you very much. Let's get Jane Mutisia's closing remarks as well. We are running out of time. Jane, can you hear me? Unfortunately, we seem to have lost her as well. So I guess that concludes our conversation on careers. Thank you so much to Professor Romanus Odhiambo Otieno. He